Welcome everyone for the Saturday Sangha. So today Prabhuji gave me this seva of giving this talk on the New Year resolutions. So first of all, wish you all a very happy Krishna conscious New Year. We have entered into the 2025, 4 days into it now. So we always take resolutions, especially in Kartik Mass also. Many vows devotees take, and generally Prabhupada especially said that we there is no new year for us. Every day is a new year in Krishna consciousness. Every day is a new year. So everything that we do is full of bliss. And when we perform on any devotional activities, if we just try to connect with Lord, it's like every day something, some new experience we get. But still, taking opportunity and to go further in our Krishna conscious life, we'll try to see what we can actually do in this new year to take advantage of this whole phenomena. Whole world is taking some resolutions. Everybody in the world is celebrating. So we all can reflect in our last year, previous year, 2024, and we all can just write down some points in your mind. You can just think about it. Some very positive things which happen in your life in 2024 from the point of view of Krishna consciousness, or like whatever you are doing in your life. And some things, there is actually no such negative experience. We learn out of negative experiences. So some learnings that we had. So all of you can think that some things like that in your mind. And then one very good thing that I found out, it's like if in this 2025, like you're aware about the balance sheet that the companies make. What is a balance sheet for those who are reading the account? Can tell. Compilation of debits and credits. Okay, that's it. वही होता है बस मुझे नहीं पता एक्चुअली उतना डिटेल में. ओके, बट उसमें कुछ लॉस प्रॉफिट डेबिट क्रेडिट ये सब होता है, कुछ पॉजिटिव नेगेटिव व्हाटएवर. सो लाइक वी नो दैट ये ऑर्गेनाइजेशन वाले करते हैं देखने के लिए कि कौन सा एम्प्लॉय अच्छा परफॉर्म कर रहा है, कौन सा एम्प्लॉय कहाँ पे उसको हम लोग करेक्ट कर सकते हैं. सो इसका एक पूरा एक वो लोग बर्ड आई व्यू देखते हैं पूरे ईयर का. So why not we can do something like that with our spiritual life? We are doing so many devotional activities. So we are just going on, you see time is just going on. अभी कुछ दिनों पहले पिछले साल न्यू ईयर सेलिब्रेट किया था, अभी फिर एक नया न्यू ईयर आ गया. वीक्स आर गोइंग, वी आर कमिंग फॉर सैटरडे संगा, हरि प्रसादम, कथा सुनते हैं, थोड़ा श्लोक याद करते हैं, नहीं भी करते कभी कभी. And then life is going on. But if we just try to note it down after every weeks, every Sunday, or before sleeping, or every Monday after waking up, in the previous week, what some good experience we have gone through, and some bad or negative experience and with learnings, कुछ हमने कुछ सीखा है. ऐसे बोलते हैं कि जो तजुर्बा है वो वक्त के साथ में ही आता है, गलतियों से तजुर्बा आता है, और तजुर्बा जो है वो बहुत कुछ सिखाता है. सो वो एक्सपीरियंस जो है वो मिस्टेक से ही आता है. सो यू कैन जस्ट नोट इट डाउन, and if you note it down, by the end of the month you will have a balance sheet of your whole month. कि इस month में हमने, you can go through and then see कि इस महीने मैंने क्या क्या सीखा, whatever achievements I have done. कुछ ना कुछ achievements होते हैं spiritual life में जो भी हम लोग कर रहे हैं. And then like that you can maintain it, and then at the end of the year you can again see the balance sheet of the whole year. So you will be very happy by when the next new year will be there, 2026. So please check that what you can just go through and you will see those so many good things I have achieved in life, and so many learnings are there. And then you can actually see that there is progress is happening, and you will also be able to understand that where I have to work in my spiritual life. So we will try to learn this new year resolution phenomena. We try to take resolution by one very connected incident from Srimad Bhagavatam, which is an incident from the life of one very माफिया काइंड ऑफ पर्सन इन महाभारत. महाभारत का जो सबसे बड़ा डॉन था, कोई गैस कर सकता है कौन था? Everybody thinks like the Shakuni, Duryodhan, these all like but actually Dhritarashtra was like one of a very crooked person, and he was not only blind by eyes, but he was also blind by spiritual point of view. So every time anybody was giving him some advice, Bhishma Pitama, Vidur, गुरु द्रोण, ही वॉज जस्ट सेइंग वन थिंग, अरे मुझे पता है मेरा बेटा थोड़ा ऐसा है, ये है, वो कर रहा है, कॉन्स्पिरेसीज कर रहा है, बट व्हाट टू डू, मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ, मैं बूढ़ा हूँ, मैं अंधा हूँ, मैं बहुत अटैच हूँ अपने बच्चे से, इस तरह से वो बहुत सारे एक्सक्यूजेस दे रहा पूरी लाइफ में। एंड देन when at the time of when even after his 100 sons were killed by Bhima, and at that time also when Yudhishthir Maharaj was king, he was there on the throne. So we all know this famous incident, we have discussed also many times in the Bhagavatam class, when Vidur, brother of Dhritarashtra, he comes after the pilgrim, and he actually specially comes for giving this lesson to Dhritarashtra, that the Dhritarashtra is actually uh, he see that he is very very attached. His situation is very bad now. He is old, on the verge of death, but still he is not thinking about spiritual life. He is not thinking about devotional activities. He is not going to forest for sannyas. So at that time, Vidur used very very strong words to the Dhritarashtra to shake him up, to wake him up. So these resolutions, if you want to take these verses, will help us a lot. So we will go through this one of the verse. This is from the first canto, 13th chapter, 17th verse. Please recite this verse. Evam graheshu shaktanam pramattanam tadihaya atyakramat avignatah kalah parama dustaraha. Somebody can read the translation loudly.
Insurmountable eternal time imperceptibly overcomes those who are attached to family affairs and are always engrossed in their thoughts.
Yes, so here one word which is used here, pramattanam tadhiya. Pramattanam means who are overly attached to family affairs, and then atyakramat avignatah. So avignatah word is used here for time. Time. So here in the upcoming verses, Dhritarashtra was being chastised by Vidura in a very very strong manner. We know that how he says that you you are like a dog. Bhima killed your many hundred sons, and still you are just like वो उनके टुकड़ों पे तुम पल रहे हो, इस टाइप से बहुत ही स्ट्रॉन्ग वर्ड यूज करते, बिकॉज विदुरा न्यू दैट धृतराष्ट्र इज वेरी वेरी अटैच्ड. So we here this word abhignata is specially used for by Vidura to Dhritarashtra in this verse. It gives a very special quality of time. Its meaning here is given imperceptibly overcomes. The eternal time imperceptibly overcomes. So imperceptible. So abhigna. Abhigna means like which actually cannot be very conscious. We cannot be conscious about how time is acting. You all cut your nails, go to barber and cut your hairs, but we are not able to see when the hairs are going, when the nails are going. So time is like that. Can anybody tell the exact time right now with seconds? The exact time. What is the exact time right now? Can anybody tell with seconds? Because by the time you will tell that it's not 7 o'clock, 7:15, 28 seconds, you will say 28 and it's already going, 30, 32, 33, it's already going. So time is such an entity, it's like, and where there are so many books, we already have heard about it. Time के बारे में बहुत सी बातें होती है, time management के ऊपर में लोग सेशंस देते हैं. Like you, one more example is like a river which is flowing. So one part of a river, you will see every time there is molecules of water are changing because river is flowing, the water is changing. The same point, water is different every moment. Every moment, water is different. So like that. So time does not return. We cannot take some time back. Something which we might, like I remember, uh, Guru Maharaj told me in the temple hall. One day Guru Puja was happening, and Guru Maharaj told me, Guru, in the middle of Puja, he was singing the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, he was doing Kirtan, and then he called me in the middle of Guru Puja and he said me, where is your accordion? So I was very feeling very bad actually. Accordion was not there in the temple with me. And then I told Maharaj, accordion is at home. And yes, so I told Maharaj, after the Guru Puja, I met Maharaj and I told Maharaj, next time I'll definitely bring accordion when he will come. Maharaj said, okay, okay, yeah. So like that. And then Maharaj left us in April. So I was not able to, I cannot bring that moment now. Later, now I'm whole life I just think like that and could not do that. So time cannot, come back. Whatever is gone now. No time of no amount of time can be returned. So there is a story of a king. There was a king and his friend. He is a very uh, good friend of him. He was a lazy friend actually. So he was giving good company to the king and saying some jokes. तो किंग का अच्छा टाइम पास होता था राजा का, तो राजा ने उसको अपने पास में रखा हुआ था, अच्छे जोक्स सुनाता था, टाइम पास करता, सो बट ही वाज वेरी लेजी बाय नेचर. सो व्हाट हैपेंड दैट वन डे किंग ऑब्जर्व दिस कि अरे ये कुछ काम धाम तो करता नहीं, मेरे साथ घूमता रहता है दिन भर. सो ही आस्क्ड दैट फ्रेंड ऑफ हिम कि अरे व्हाई डोंट यू डू सम वर्क. सो ही सेड दैट अरे आई एम वेरी लेजी, नोबडी गिव्स मी वर्क. पता है कि ये कुछ काम तो करेगा नहीं, आएगा आलसी है, हमारा काम और खराब हो जाएगा. So okay, king says, okay, no worry, no problem. What do you do? You come to the my treasury, जहाँ पे खजाना रखा हुआ है. By the sunset you come. आज सूरज डूबने के पहले आ जाना. And then I have kept some special treasure for you. Take it back. Okay, so he says, okay, I'll come. Then he goes home and he goes home and he tells this news to his wife. The wife becomes very happy. Okay, okay, wow, very nice. We'll get some treasure, some money. We'll get. Okay, let's eat some food. Okay, so he eats food and then says, "I'll take some rest." Then he remembers, okay, I have to go. So then he go and then by on the road he see there is a juggler doing some show on there on the road. So he stops there to watch the road show. And like by the time he reaches the treasury, it's already sunset. So sun has already set. So he missed that opportunity also. So like that, every day the treasury of like every day with the rising sun, we also get a treasury of 86,400 seconds every day. So this treasure of 86,400 seconds is awarded to all of us, every one of us, and then it's totally up to us how we utilize this all these seconds in our spiritual life. We can utilize it for spiritual activities, for reading Bhagavatam, for attending Bhagavatam class online, or doing our own reading, or we can chant in the morning hours. So whatever 86,400 seconds we can utilize in the best possible way. And today we will discuss about this that how, because resolutions. I also took some resolutions in Kartik, and you know, I was sharing with Pramod Prabhu that I could not follow it. So this happens. How many of you have taken some resolutions and could not follow it? Not only Kartik, but पहले भी ऐसा हुआ है कभी. So it happened to me. So that's why we will also, this for my own purification also. So we will also again go through this and from the scriptures, and we'll see how actually we should be more fixed in following our resolutions. So the next verse will recite, which was spoken by Vidura to the Dhritarashtra. Prakritiyana yasheha कुतश्चित् कर्हिचित् प्रभो स एषा भगवान् कालः सर्वेषां नः समागतः. Somebody please read the translation.
This frightful situation cannot be navigated by any person in this material world. My Lord, it is the Supreme Personality of Godhead as eternal time, Kala, that has approached us all.
Yeah. So it cannot be remedied by any person in this material world. Prakriti hai na yasyasha utaschit karhichit prabho. So we have seen many examples in history. Many great kings have come and they have gone and they have claimed the land and they have said that I am this, I am that, I am the great, I am the greatest. And still they could not defeat the when the time came, they had to go. So when Prabhupada went to France for preaching, so in France, there was Napoleon. He was ruling France before many years ago. So Napoleon used to say at one point of time when Napoleon was as at the peak of his career, he was like the ruler, like the prime king of France, the president. So he used to say that Napoleon is France and France is Napoleon. मतलब फ्रांस अगर है तो नेपोलियन से है, नेपोलियन है तो वो फ्रांस से है. He was like so like dictator kind of person. So then Prabhupada was giving a lecture, and then Prabhupada said, "Where is Napoleon now?" So all the people they were thinking, "Oh, Napoleon, the great king of France, कहाँ है अभी किधर है Napoleon?" So like that, by the effect of time, we have heard many. Alexander the Great, he was also, you heard the story. Alexander at the time of death, he told especially that when I'll go, you tell everyone that I cannot take anything with me. Like Aurangzeb also, Aurangzeb, he fought with Marathas for 24 years, and he was actually the Bill Gates that time. Like Bill Gates is the who's the richest person now? Where is Elon Musk? Bill Gates. Whoever. So he was like that Elon Musk or Bill Gates of that time. He was the richest man on planet that time. Yes, I mean, his treasury was filled with gold and whatever coins and all. But because of fighting this war with Marathas for 24 years, Marathas fought so bravely. They were not allowed him to conquer this region. So because of that, at the time of death, Aurangzeb treasury was totally empty. And Aurangzeb, at the time of death, he said these words: "Who am I? All women," like that Aurangzeb was saying. So all these great examples we have, where not only from scriptures, also like uh, we hear the story of Ajamila. Ajamila, even after taking birth in a Brahmana family, fell down, and then because yeah, lose again. Yeah. So Ajamila also he utilized. Uh, he was actually he took birth in a Brahmana family, but at the end he was not able to follow the spiritual life and he fell down from his position. And because of that, what happened that ultimately he fell into sinful activities. And then at the end of his life, when he was leaving his body, then the Yamdutas came. So we know the incident when Yamdutas and the dialogue between the Vishnu Dutas, because he called his son Narayan. His name was his youngest son was Narayan. It's not coming. So we are already actually at second canto. So we'll take some verses from Bhagavatam second canto and then Bhagavad Gita some verses, and then we will try to think actually how it's very important for us to utilize this present moment, this present fortune that we have got because of Srila Prabhupada, and in this way we can actually uh, progress in our Krishna conscious journey. It's actually verse from Bhagavad Gita. Maybe आप most लोगों को आपको पता भी होगा. I'll just recite chapter 8, 19th verse. Please recite. भूतग्रामः स एवायम् भूत्वा भूत्वा प्रलीयते रात्र्यागमे वशः पार्थ प्रभवति अहरागमे. Please read the translation.
Again and again, when Brahmaji arrives, all living entities come into being, and with the arrival of Brahma's night, they are helplessly annihilated.
Yes. So I was reading this, from the Bhagavatam, and it was mentioned there that Brahma's it's like 11:20 a.m. right now in Brahma's day, and Brahma will take 20 minutes to take his lunch, and in those 20 minutes there will be trillions of years spent on the planet. So one moment of Brahma is like, you can calculate crores of years here. And sometimes we very casually speak about Brahma. ब्रह्मा ने जी आके बछड़े चुरा लिए. You can imagine ब्रह्मा जी के नाश्ते में ही यहाँ पे खरबों साल गुजर जाएंगे. ब्रह्मा जी सिर्फ नाश्ता ले रहे हैं वहाँ पे. So this is a theory of time, and we know this from this past time when Brahma was there. Brahmaji stole the cows and calves and cowherds, and he was there for one moment, and here 1 year passed. Famous pastime from Bhagavatam, and uh, like one more pastime where Balramji's marriage happened with Revati, the mother. So she was from Satyuga, and because her height was she was very taller. So when his father went to Brahmaloka and Brahmaji suggested, now it's Dwapar Yuga, you go now, and Balramji is there, and he is a very suitable bridegroom for your daughter. So and when he came back, so we know that how Balramji then used his clock to reduce the height. So time difference, this theory is there. So time works in different pendulum system in different medium, but time is actually very very required when the creation happens. So we will just take a fast glimpse. It is said that when we take a bird eye view of our life, or we take a bird eye view, actually that's why it's given there. Scriptures helps us. So we will just see this whole it should be a recap also for all of us, because हम लोग पहले से पढ़े रहते हैं primary and secondary creation. So time is described as Lord's glance, which is personified as Lord Shiva, on the material nature, initiating the creation process from Bhagavatam 14.3 and 4, and Srimad Bhagavatam 3.5.26, 27, and Rama Samhita also 5.10, it's given there. So Shiva's paraphernalia also symbolizes moon is like time measurement in months, three eyes says he is able to know all the three, past, present, future. Snake around the neck, time measurement in years, necklace of skulls with snakes, changing of ages, begetting the emanating of mankind. So this time is actually not existing in the spiritual world. We have heard about this many times. Time is not there in the spiritual world. There is no effect of time. There is no birth, death, old age, disease there in the spiritual world. So, what is happening in the spiritual world, and what is there? What is why is there a need of material world? So, the spiritual world is to establish and enhance the various loving relationships between the Lord and all of His expansions. There are five prominent rasas in which our relationship is there in the spiritual world, and material world is especially designed to correct those living entities, jiva, about their mistakes and to re-establish their loving relationship with the Lord. So you can see one jiva here, one unfortunate jiva who is coming, actually who is saying no. हम लोग सुनते हैं ना कई बार कि we turned our face from Krishna. So here that jiva is turning his face from Krishna, and he is actually entering into the material world. So this material creation is again facilitate given by Krishna to us, so that we come here, experience some pain. So whatever pains we are going through in this material world, we can utilize them. After going to spiritual world, we remember this pain. We'll never wanting to come back here, because these painful experiences, we will understand that we should not go. This is not a very good world. Material world is place of misery, suffering, tritapa. So, but to create this material world, there are so many elements are needed. So we have discussed about this primary and secondary creation. Sarga is primary creation of matters and elements. The two aspects of them. Visarga is secondary creation by Lord Brahma. So we know about this Pradhana, which is actually the material elements. And then there are unmanifested three modes of material nature. 3 mmn is three modes of material nature, and all ingredients of material energy is undifferentiated or unmanifested form. It's just very subtle, sometimes called as Brahman. So we have discussed about these 25 elements, right? Tan matras, gross senses of sense objects, knowledge gathering senses, working senses. You all can remember this? कुछ याद आ रहा है पिछली क्लासेस से कुछ किया था हम लोगों ने? Okay, so yeah, this is their sense objects, five sense of knowledge gathering senses, nose, tongue, eyes, skin, ear, working senses, and subtle. So these are all there, but they are actually not agitated. When nothing moves until the original controlling deity of each of the elements in each universe prays to the Mahavishnu for help in creation. He then impregnates time into the material energy. With the impregnation of time, material energy becomes Prakriti, which then transforms to Mahat Tattva. So when Mahavishnu glands, through the glands, he is impregnating the material energy with Jiva, with all their karmas, previous karmas. Bhutva Bhutva Praliyate. So when at the time of annihilation we again enter into the Lord, our karma is still there, record is there. And when we again come out at the time of creation, so with that, जहां से छोड़ा था वहीं से फिर से creation शुरू होता है. So we all know this is just a reminder for us. Time is energy of Lord, and due to time Pradhana get agitated, and Pradhan now is called as Mahat Tattva. And then consciousness is first thing which is created is Mahat Tattva. Okay, so at this time, our consciousness is Shuddha Sattva, but when we come into a body, when we accept a body, then we are actually identifying with the body. Then actually the role of false ego comes in. Yeah, so Mahavishnu enter into each universe then, and then from his bodily post many universes come out, and he enters into each universe with Mahat Tattva and Jivas. And then in each and every universe, the same Mahavishnu enters at Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and then lies there on the serpent bed like Shesha incarnation. And then from his lotus flower comes out. So this we all know. And then the secondary creation starts. Then Brahmaji starts creating the Panch Tattvas, earth, water, fire, air, ether, and many other elements, as well as the upper, middle, and lower planetary systems and living entities, different bodies. 84 living entities Brahmaji creates. 84 living entities, according to their different desires and karma, they take different bodies. Okay. So among these different bodies, they go through different according to desires and karma to different bodies, and then after many births, millions of births, they achieve human form of life. तो हम लोगों ने पहले भी बहुत बार सुना है कि मैनी बर्थ्स, बहुत सारे जन्मों के बाद में मानव शरीर मिलता है, लेकिन जस्ट टू गिव सम एम्फेसिस ऑन दिट, on one information from the this is from the ninth canto 24th verse 58, 24th chapter 58th verse. So this information is there actually how rare is the human birth. This is there in Majjhima Nikaya, Bhasmanit Sutra. So the human rebirth is said to be extremely rare. Compares it to be a wooden cattle yoke floating on the waves of the sea, tossed this way and that way by winds of current. So there's a wooden log with a hole, and it is just tossing here and there on the ocean, on the surface of the ocean. And the likelihood of a blind turtle rising from the depth of the ocean to the surface once in 100 years. So if a blind turtle will come on the surface once in 100 years, so the probability of that head of the turtle going inside the hole of that log, putting its head through the hole in the yolk, is considered greater than that of being in the animal realm, hungry ghost realm, or hell realm. Just to put here the emphasis of. So this is given actually. You can see. So that blind turtle अगर वो ऊपर आएगा तो उसका probability भी actually ज़्यादा है हमारे ह्यूमन बर्थ से. सो सच अ रेयर ह्यूमन बर्थ इज देयर. एंड we hear lectures inside our body only there are so many living entities. There are worms, organism, bacteria, amoeba, parasomnium, जो पढ़ा हुआ ना हम लोगों ने, वो सब भी है अंदर में. They are not aware that where they are living, just like we are not aware that we are inside Krishna actually. So they are like that also. So there are so many living entities right now in this room. There are so many living entities actually. We are, हम लोग को लग रहा है कि हम ही लोग बैठे हैं यहाँ पे, how many जो भी हमारा काउंट है यहाँ पे, but actually there are so many thousands and thousands of living entities here because inside all our body also. So and then these so many living entities that we cannot see. Viruses, COVID के टाइम पे COVID virus रहे होंगे, ऐसे बहुत से, so like so many organisms are there. So all these forms of life they are there, and then after going through such actually it's inconceivable, and then we get a rare human birth. Now what we are doing in this human birth, this whole the human rebirth is said to be extremely rare. The Majjhima Nikaya 129 Bal Pandit Sutra compares it to a wooden cattle yoke floating on the waves of the sea, tossed this way and that way by the winds and currents. The likelihood of a blind turtle rising from the depths of the ocean to the surface once in 100 years, putting its head through the hole in the yoke, is considered greater than that of a being in the animal realm, hungry ghost realm, or hell realm, achieving rebirth as a human. So, this is like one piece of information, and then we'll see after getting this sudurlabham. So we'll recite this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam. Labdva sudurlabham idam bahu sambhavante manushyamartha damanityam apiha dhiraha turunam yateta napatedanu mrityu yavan निःशेयसया विहा विषयः खलु सर्वतः स्यात्. So this verse is from 11th canto, 9th chapter, verse number 29. Somebody can read the translation loudly.
After many births and deaths, one achieves the rare human form of life, which, although temporary, affords one the opportunity to attain the highest perfection. Thus, a sober human being should quickly endeavor for the ultimate perfection of life, as long as his body, which is always subject to death, has not fallen down and died. After all, sense gratification is available in the most abominable species of life, where Krishna consciousness is possible only for a human being.
Yes. So we can imagine how fortunate we are now to be present at this time. Now, if you have somehow or other you get a special power, you can time travel. So you can imagine in your mind, if you have taken birth 20 years ago, 20 साल पहले अगर हम लोग होते इस वर्ल्ड में, so at that time it would have been possible for us to come in contact with the devotees. So things happen in such a way that at one point we met the devotees and we came in the movement. So there is a perfect timing. Everything is perfect. We should not think like something is you know कभी कभी लगता है कि मैं पहले आ जाता भक्ति में. Whatever is happening at the correct place according to Lord's plan. And then now we have come. So now it's our opportunity. Like you can see in the photo, Artho, Jigyasu, Artharthi, Jnani, four kind of people. They take shelter of the Lord. And then one more very very famous verse from Srimad Bhagavatam we will recite. Please recite. आयुर्हरति वैपुंसाम् उदयान् अष्टं च यन्नसो तस्यर्थे यक्षणो नित्ता उत्तमश्लोकवर्तया. Yeah. Second chapter, 13 to 17 verse. Somebody can recite loudly.
Both by rising and by setting. The sun decreases the duration of life of everyone, except one who utilizes the time by discussing topics of all good personality of God.
Yes. There is a special benediction. Actually, sun by rising and decreasing the rising and setting, decreasing the duration of life of everyone, except one who utilized this time by discussing topics of the all good personality of God. Okay, so we might think कि अरे ये तो मतलब ये तो टाइम की थ्योरी को पूरा बैंड हो गया इसमें. But actually it's happening if you are like in during COVID time. Actually those who were actually not on devotional path, not Krishna conscious, that time was the worst period of time for those people. Devotees also went through suffering and trouble, but we started our Bhagavatam reading that time. Deemantu Prabhu also came online to give some classes. So we were also going through trouble, but we were not that much panicked or like many people in the COVID time. If you have heard, they were just dying because of mental problems, and immunity was also going down because they were just watching the news again and again. So again and again, same thing. You know, so many people are dying and this and that. So putting so much negativity inside, and because of that, what was happening? They were just yeah, dying. So many people were dying. So, but except one who utilized the time by discussing topics of all good personality of Godhead. So many times we also meet devotees and we ask their ages. When we ask their age and then they tell ki, "Arey, I'm 55-year old now." And we see, "Arey, Prabhuji, तो लगता ही नहीं है कि आप 55 years के हैं." Somehow or other, devotees are having this bliss on their faces because they are always chanting Hare Krishna mantra, reading Bhagavatam, discussing on these topics of all good personalities of Godhead. So it does not mean that we will not die. Of course, we will also die. But yeah, somehow we see that we are actually not that much elevating. So there are some very special advantage that we have. But before going to that, we see generally people, Prahlad Maharaj is saying this in fifth canto, how actually generally people are spending time. Let's have a look on that also. Please recite. Mugdhaya balye keshore क्रीडतो यतिविंशतिः जरयाग्रस्तदेहस्य अकल्पया अकल्पस्य विंशतिः. Please recite someone. Yes. So Vedas say Atato Brahma Jigyasa. Human form is to inquire about the absolute truth. And here is what actually Prahlad Maharaj is saying. So 50 years people sleeping. Okay, this may be exaggeration, but ignorance of avidya is also actually sleeping like that. But here, childhood is 10 years, you can say, from connected with the Prahlad Maharaj. Boyhood, 10 years. Old age, 20 years. And then all the other different activities that we do is sense gratification also 10 years. So, yeah, I can very much relate. And we all also can relate to what we were doing in our childhood. And you see now our children are attending Krishna conscious activities they are doing since childhood. Kids from Gurukul, those who takes birth in Krishna conscious families, since childhood they are reading Bhagavad Gita, reciting slokas. So, but you see, we have already seen that how this rarely achieved, Durlabham Manusham Janma, and so rare, and without the knowledge, spiritual knowledge, this is wasted in so many activities. And then the very big challenge that we are facing in Kali Yuga is the mobile phone. The mobile phone, all this garbage that we are putting. So mind is compared with the garden also, and what we put there in the garden, what seeds we will sow, that will becomes our thought. So many times after the Bhagavad Gita class, or just we meet with people, so people say that प्रभु जी बहुत सारे थॉट्स आते हैं मन में, बहुत बुरे बुरे विचार आते हैं, बहुत सारे जपा के टाइम पे भी बुरे विचार आते हैं. So yeah, japa, at the time of japa we also face that struggle that will keep going. We have to still do chanting, but still if we put lot of garbage in our mind, so there is this theory, garbage in garbage out, we discussed last time. Garbage in garbage out. So what you are putting in your mind, that will create more impression. Already there are so many subtle impressions which we are removing. Chetu darpanam marjanam, we are already doing that. By we are removing those impressions, those samskaras from our hard drive of our mind. And then if we will put more and more samskaras such from social media, YouTube, whatever, Instagram and all. So there are so many nonsense there available on internet. If we will do, especially after coming to Krishna consciousness also, again they will again come in our thoughts. So somebody who will spend their time in doing this, they will just think about that only during japa also. And then somebody who is utilizing, who is putting seeds on the mind of garden of spiritual literatures, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Krishna book. So and then they will might think about randomly. You just start your day by reading Krishna book. Start your day after chanting. You are attending Bhagavad Gita class, Bhagavatam class. So randomly when you are doing your work, some thoughts will come in your mind. आपने सुबह सुबह सुना है कृष्ण भगवान का कुछ लीला. I was hearing Radhanath Swami Maharaj telling Krishna was tendering a calf. वो छोटा सा बछड़ा है. Krishna is playing with her, hugging him, and then Krishna know that where the calf is having itching. So Krishna know, as being super soul. So at that same point, Krishna itches. Krishna rubs that point. So calf feel very nice. And then Krishna says to the calf, "Oh, my dear calf, you are missing your mother? Don't worry, I am here." So then calf also feels very good. Oh, Krishna loves me so much. So sometimes such types of leelas are happening every day. Even Srimad Bhagavatam plus Krishna's pastimes are happening, all 24 incarnations of Lord. So if we sow these wonderful seeds, that nectar in our mind's garden, so automatically those thoughts will come in our mind, and then there are so many lessons associated with these pastimes which are there in the Bhagavatam. Lessons with every devotee's lila. So these lessons will come when we are actually facing that situation in our life. Exactly that we will be able to remember. So this is very one important thing. And then by doing this, we will be able to achieve some very big advantages in our life. So what are those advantages? We will be able to prioritize things. First of all, we will have to, just like what we have discussed right now, that time is taking the age just by rising and setting the sun. Every day our age is going. So if we contemplate on this fact that this human birth is very rare, and we have to utilize this in a proper manner. So when COVID time, I had out of body experience. I shared with some of the devotees. So I was sleeping, and suddenly in the night, middle of the night, I I did not I was not aware when I came out of the body, but I was levitating in the air, and it was very scary experience, and I cannot forget it. It happened in 2020 when I was at my home. So I was just levitating in the air here and there, and I was in the bookshelf seeing the books, and then At one point of time, I became so afraid that I came inside the body again. And then I thought that I died, but then I got to know that oh, I'm still alive. So, but then I understood that this is going to happen with me one day. One day I'll be kicked off the body. Everyone will go through this experience one day. So, and we know that how the soul is so attached to the body that it does not leave the body. वो body के पास में घूमती रहती है soul, because so many years the soul is identifying with the body. इतने प्यार से उसको शैम्पू लगाया, क्रीम लगाया. When I was not a devotee, अभी भी devotee नहीं हूँ, but फिर भी अभी आप लोगों का संग है तो कुछ chance है अभी. लेकिन I had very long hairs, so I remember I used to do karate to look good because there was music video shooting वगैरह चल रहा था. There was a different world I was in. So much of money I spent on those things. Now I think that I'm such a fool. I spent, and then what about making music videos? तो उसमें तो बहुत सारा खर्चा कर दिया. But we generally take care of our body so much. So the soul is so attached to the body that it just rolls on. So that's why we burn the body. When the body is burned, then after the दसवीं happen, दसवीं पे वो पिंड दान करते हैं, then the soul goes for the onward journey. So when we contemplate on this fact that this is going to happen with us one day, and at that point of time we will not be able to communicate with everyone. When we come out of the body, subtle body will come out, everybody will be there, but they will not listen us. We may try to communicate with them, but we will not be able to listen to them. We will be just by levitating in the air. So that when we contemplate on this, we will prioritize things. So we will actually make priority. No, I will have to prioritize. I have to give to more priority to spiritual activities. So then this is a big advantage. So then we will make sure that we will not spend more time on social media, or cut down our whatever activities we are doing toward time pass, or what killing time. Killing time. Time is such a precious human birth mila hai, or killing time. Just like doing nothing. So it's very dangerous. So priority we will fix. Chanting करना है morning में priority. रोज जो है भागवतम सुनना है प्रायोरिटी. भगवत की बुक रीडिंग करना है प्रायोरिटी. So this will be our advantage. Second advantage is, yeah, there will be a sense of urgency if we contemplate on this fact that we are going to leave this body one day, and which can come at any time. So why not do it on an urgent basis? Andhra Prabhu, who started 24-hour kirtan in Vrindavan Krishna Bhagavan temple, he used to say that you should live your day in such a way that every day is your last day. So chant also in such a way that every your 16 round chanting is your last chanting. It's going to be your last chanting. So pray with intense mood every time when you chant. This is my last chanting, so I'm just call Krishna in such a way, Hare Krishna, so Krishna should listen to me. And then you will just have that sense of urgency in all the activities, not only chanting, but you will keep the Krishna conscious activity at your priority list on the top. Urgent level, urgent need for Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada used to say there is urgent need for Krishna consciousness. Then third advantage is we will also become humble. We will also become humble, because when we will think about death, we will also be able to understand that whatever this thing रहा हो ना, ये सब skills है, जो भी material wealth है, ये सारी चीजें तो एक दिन मेरे हाथ से जाने ही वाली है. So why I'm being so proud of all of this? So better be humble and just do my services and live my life in a Krishna conscious manner. So humility will come, and then humility attracts Krishna. We always hear humility attracts Krishna. So yeah, fourth point is clarity will come in our life. So whatever garbage is there in mind, it will go, because when we will contemplate on death, we will contemplate on this fact that we are going to leave the body. So we will be able to see that what is right for me, what is wrong for me. Anna Vilash, whatever this verse are there, Anukulasya Sankalpa Patikulasya Varjanam, that clarity will come. What is right for me, what is wrong for me. Fifth one is immunity. Okay, so you can all take your new resolutions, or make some framework in your mind, some flowchart in your mind, that I've now in this 2025 I am going to utilize this really achieved human form of life. And then you can all take whatever resolution you want to take. You can think in your mind. Immunity from the fear of death. So there is immunity will come. Actually, you will, because in general you see people are so much afraid of death. So much afraid of death. During COVID time, people were like dying because of the fear of death. Death तो बाद में आना था, पहले डर डर के ही मर रहे थे लोग. So immunity will come. You will become fearless, because you will know, yeah, one day we have to leave the body, and at that time, if we are already chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, there is no problem. We will pray to the Lord always that Lord give us some service. Okay, when I leave this body, also keep me in association of devotees wherever you want me to engage in the service. But please, so whatever devotional activities we are doing, there are so many promises Krishna is doing. So Krishna is giving us in Bhagavad Gita. So we can, Krishna is saying, Kaunte pratijani name bhakta pranashyati. Nam Sankirtana Yasya Sarva Papa Pranashanam. All these verses are there where we are being promised. So, you know, that one person who does one time Dandavat to the Lord, who is not a devotee, who even an atheist person, but somehow or other, if we come to temple and do one time Dandavat in the front of the Lord, so it will be there mentioned in the record. So then they will see Chitragupta and Yamraj, they will see. And then because of that, he will get discount. Might be released. So we know the story of Ajamil. Ajamil did so many sinful activities, but just at the time of death, he called Narayan. And because of that, what happened? He got saved by Vishnu Dutas. So if those people who are just paying Dandavat one time and like just chanted at the time of death, Khatwa Maharaj, he was able to do that. So, but we understand that if they just by doing it once, they achieve the grace of the mercy of the Lord. So why not us? If we are doing our whole life, why not us? So in this way, we will be fearless, immune, and then be more aware, more conscious how we are spending our time, and then we will seek opportunity. We will seek every situation as an opportunity. Whatever situation is coming in our life, we can take advantage of it as to serve the Vaishnavas, or to learn some lessons out of it, or to do something for the Lord. ठीक है, अभी जैसे कि आज चलो आज छुट्टी हो गया, अचानक से ऑफिस में कुछ काम नहीं है, सो दिस इज माय अपॉर्चुनिटी टू, मेरा रीडिंग चल रहा है, अभी मैं 2 दिन से पढ़ नहीं पाया, मेरा थर्ड कैंटो चालू है, सो लेट मी फिनिश नाउ 41 पेजेस, whatever you want to do, you want to make something for the Lord, will offer some bhoga to the Lord. So anything, let me chant some extra rounds today. So like that, 16 round is the minimum. So opportunity, we will seek opportunities for doing spiritual activities. So contemplating on that is like that. Shri Baldev Vidyabhushan and Ramanujacharya, they said they have given this process many years back. Ramanujacharya was there 1,000 years back. Mind disturbed by subtle sinful tendencies of previous lives. So what we have to do, withdraw the mind and make the mind obedient to Atma alone by reflecting on the intense happiness of realizing the Atman. So that time they have given this process, but now Prabhupada has given the process of like flickering an unsteady mind. What we have to do, self-realized yogi must control the mind must not control them. So we always because mind is the instrument that we have to use. So what we have to do, we have to again and again bring the mind back. Yen kein prakared mana Krishna niveshye. So what Prabhupada has given us this process of engaging our senses in the service of the Lord by giving us this ISKCON International Society for Krishna Conscious Society, where there are so many services happening, and we are able to engage ourselves in all these different type of activities. So yeah, Goswami means master of mind and senses. Godasa means servant of mind and senses. And if we want to be Goswami, we have to know the standard of sense happiness, actually, not enjoyment. Sense happiness means Rishikesha. It means the honor of the senses. Rishikena, Rishikesha, Sevanam Bhakti Uchate. So when we use these senses in the service of the honor of the senses, that is the perfect way to bring senses under control. So Sitaram Prabhuji always he mentioned when I came to Krishna consciousness and I was struggling because I had a lot of bad impressions. And so it was a struggle. But then Prabhuji said that you just be engaged in the service. There should be no time gap. If the mind find that there is some leisure time, so mind will again, those lower tendencies or past impressions or past experiences, lower experiences, lower taste will pull us back to do those activities. So that's why best way is to somehow or other engage our mind in the service of the Lord. Whatever seva we can do, reading we can do anytime. So there are devotees who have read Bhagavatam, the entire Bhagavatam they have read, and not only one time, 4 or 5 times. There are devotees who are reading at 6 times, 7 times. We can read again and again, and then like that. So you can ask your authorities if there is some service. So you'll get the service. So way to bring senses under control is to engage in the service of the Lord. Now we will just see the timetable of one of the acharyas, Bhakti Vinod Thakur's acharya. He's the father of uh, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Maharaj. And what was his timetable? So this is given 7:30 to 8:30, 8 p.m. He used to take rest, and then 10 p.m. he used to rise, and then write books till 10 p.m. 10 p.m. and then 4 a.m. he used to till 4 a.m. he used to write books. Okay? He used to not sleep in night, and then at 4 a.m. he used to take rest for like 30 minutes. So this might sound, because we don't have to follow this like in the footstep. We cannot imitate them. तो हमको अनुकरण नहीं करना है, हमको अनुसरण करना है. We have to just learn from them because they are great personalities sent by the Lord, empowered personalities. But at least what we can do, we can see that you know this our acharyas, they are doing like this. Like we have heard about Srila Prabhupada's timetable. We will see Srila Prabhupada how he did. So like that, his timetable is given at Bhaktivinoda Thakur's. He used to write letters from 7 a.m. to 7:30. Then read the letters that he have received. 8:30 a.m. he used to receive guests. 9:30 to 9:45 a.m. again a small rest window. 9:45 a.m. morning bath, breakfast, then milk, couple of chapatis. He used to eat some fruits, and 9:55 a.m. he used to go to the court for his work, and then whatever activities he has to do in the court. 10 a.m. court begins. 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. court finished. Come back again home, bath and refresh, and 2 p.m. again go to the court for his work, and 5 p.m. again come back and then translate works from Sanskrit to Bengali. So this uh, Bhaktivinoda Thakur he did for with having 10 children at home. So he was a grahastha and he did. So he is, of course, great acharya, but we can at least, see those such examples and be inspired. Okay, let's not try to imitate and, कभी आज जाके घर में ऐसे मत करना कि रात भर जाग के फिर कल सुबह फिर लाल लाल आंखें के फिर गौतम जी ने चेस्टाइज में कि क्या बता रहे हो क्लास में. So yeah. But Prabhupada, what he did in 12 years, what Prabhupada did in 12 years, Prabhupada utilized that whole 12 years of time after the inception of ISKCON in New York. He circled the globe 14 times on lectures tours that took him to 6 continents, initiated many disciples, also ordered many sannyas initiations, introduced Vedic Gurukul education to Western audiences, and directed the founding of Bhaktivedanta Book Trust, which claims to be the world's largest publisher of ancient and classical Vaishnava religious texts, founded the religious colony New Vrindavan in West Virginia, authored more than 80 books with many available online on Vedantic philosophy, religion, literature, and culture, including 4 published originally in Bengali, introduced international celebrations in the capitals of the world like that of Jagannath processions, Jagannath Rath Yatra Prabhupada ji ने famous किया, and then बीच में जो थोड़ा टाइम मिलता था प्रभुपाद उसमें रेस्ट करते थे एंड वॉच्ड इस्कॉन ग्रो टू confederation of more than 108 temples, various institutes, and farm communities. So we always hear these glories of Prabhupada, how he used to, always used to reply the letters of the disciples, and he used to take very small rest. So this Prabhupada was able to do in 12 years. So we also can, again, Prabhupada's book we are reading. So we are connecting with Prabhupada. We can pray to Prabhupada every time we are paying obeisances to Prabhupada. So we can pray Prabhupada. We hear these bhajans. We always hear that Ami to Kangal Krishna Krishna Muni Dhai Tava Pache Pache. Then so like that mood we can carry. Prabhupada, you can give your mercy. Kripa Bindu dear. You can give your mercy and make me eligible to perform these activities, devotional service in such a way that it will please my spiritual master. So that what Prabhupada was able to do. So we will end our session by this one uh, thing which was spoken by Prabhupada. So when Prabhupada, one person asked Prabhupada that somebody asked actually that Krishna consciousness, is it a probational period? So probational period क्या होता है पता है आप लोगों को? Probational period when some employee joins the company, तो वो शुरुआत के जो दिन होते हैं, which is there just to see that if the employee is suitable for the company or not, and the employee can also see that company is suitable for me. So Prabhupada gave an example of a student first. This interview which Prabhupada gave in San Francisco, 1968, March 9. Prabhupada gave that yeah, there are different type of kids in the class. There is a first class kid, there is a second class kid, third class kid, fourth class kid, and then according to their interest in the subject, they all get different type of marks in the exam. So like that, we have to understand that we have to, if we have to progress. So first stage in is faith and respect. Okay, अब सुन तो लिया कि okay, human birth is very rare, but then is that faith is there? Sitaram Prabhuji narrated the story of that Brahmana, old Brahmana, when the Sankirtan happened in the rain where there was no rain happening, and when the Sankirtan Yajna was organized and everybody was there, Sankirtan Yajna was happening, but that one person, old Brahman, came with an umbrella. And then how rain happened and then everybody went away hearing shelter, but he was just opening his umbrella and standing there. So then everybody asked, so he was having that faith. So like that, so many examples. So that's why when we hear these stories of great heroes, great devotees, they are our real heroes. Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruv Maharaj, Amrish Maharaj, and all these stories again and again and again and again. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, more than hundreds of times he have heard Prahlad Maharaj pastime and Dhruv Maharaj pastime. It was his most favorite pastime, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So if we just read these great personalities, characters, their pastimes, their conviction, their determination, so automatically, and then there are so many stalwart devotees. By seeing them, faith will come. And the second stage is association. Okay. So even after knowing everything, it's still because the Maya is very strong. So association we can take. So anybody who is very fixed up, who is very fixed up in following his resolution, or who is actually very much connected with the Lord Krishna. So we can see and we can seek the association of such devotees. So we have that opportunity. Always association is available. So you can reach out through phone. You can even read their books also. So that is probational period. And so for attaining enlightenment, according to one's rate of development, that development depends on your enthusiasm. Utsaha, nishchay, dharya, that is from nectar of devotion. So enthusiasm, Prabhupada ji जो है उसके बारे में बता रहे हैं. How far you are serious, but one should become very serious. Prabhupada is saying one should become very serious. That is the law in every sphere of achievement. So for attaining to the perfectional stage of Krishna consciousness, one should be very much enthusiastic. Yes, he must attain to the perfectional stage in this life, and then one should be patient also. Enthusiasm does not mean if I attain something immediately, the result is immediate. No, the result may be delayed, but we should not be disturbed. So, whatever happens in our life, we should be always be enthusiastic, and there should be always one devotee at least in our life who actually we can share our problems with them. So, yeah, if there are any questions, please ask about whatever we have discussed. So, we have discussed about how we can actually write down every after at the end of every week. We can keep a spiritual balance sheet in 2025. And then we have heard about Dhritarashtra, how Dhritarashtra was so attached, and then Vidura chastised him by uh, this verse, and there the he is using the word abhijnataha for time. So time is working in a very subtle way. It is coming in our life, and it is slowly we are growing old, but we are not able to see the time, how time is working. So time is abhijna. We have seen how actually big personalities, Napoleon, Aurangzeb, Alexander, such big people, no matter how big they were. Such recently Tata, Ratan Tata ji passed. Like that, many big personalities who were like the greatest of greatest. They actually have to leave the body when the time comes. They cannot even buy a moment. So this we have discussed how time is actually, and then we seen how this human form is very rare, very rare. The blind turtle story we see, and then how we can actually utilize the time by contemplating on that six advantages that we have: priority and priority, urgency, humility, clarity, immunity, and opportunity. So if we contemplate on these things, and on the basis of this we you know take some very achievable, not unachievable, impractical, but some achievable resolutions. So that will help us a lot to grow in our spiritual life. Hare Krishna. Please ask any question if you have. Yes, please.
So I didn't understand that yoga and total example. Can you please explain it in a simple word?
Yes. So this I have got from Radhesham Prabhuji's website, and the example is simple. Prabhu is like a blind turtle is there. One eye is blind. Okay, and he's inside the sea, and he's coming up on the surface every 100 years. And on the surface of the ocean, there is one log of wood with a hole in the middle. So the probability of the head of the turtle who is coming on the surface every 100 years going inside the hole of the wood is even more than getting a human birth. This is what is. Yes, ma'am.
So many a times people ask, and I also get this question. Like, is it like a cycle of bodies after which a human body is given to the soul, or is it like a random event of karma, random event of some karma that a soul has to suffer in maybe one or two of a particular animal species or some species, and then as soon as that karma is done, he gets a human birth. How is it?
So whatever I have heard, according to that, there are these bhoga yonis where we actually suffer and eradicate our past sinful karma through suffering in those species of life. And yeah, when that karma, that sinful karma's stock is totally vanquished, and when actually the time arrives, right time arrives, so then we get a human birth.
Basically, depending on the level of sin that is there, a person goes down in the chain of animal life. So animal life has a chain, and there are three heads which bring to human life. One is a cow, one is a tiger, and one is one more animal, elephant or something. So these three chains are there, and then they are fixed. The hierarchy is fixed. So once you go down, say minus 50, then you will only come minus 49, minus 48, minus 47. Because in animal life, you are not making any bad karma. You are just burning karma. So it gets burned, 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 burned till you come to one of those three, and then you get a human form. And then again you make and burn, make and burn. And depending on how bad it was and how much is burned, how much is left, and if there was anything good, then human life will start from there. But within human life, it can go to any human form of life within the 4 lakhs. So within that 4 lakhs, it can go anywhere. But if it goes below that, then however bad it goes, then say it is just a ladder. After this, after this, after this, and then it goes. Unless somebody gets the mercy of a Vaishnava in animal life. If someone eats the remnants of a Vaishnava, or if someone is a pet and the neighbor is a Vaishnava, and there's kirtan going on, or if the devotees are at Jew Beach and they are playing kirtan, or if somebody's pet is looking at one video made by you and they're seeing something. So this is all special Sukriti mercy of that can change, otherwise it is fixed. I also have a question.
Yes.
This one was amazing. This example. First time I heard this example.
This is from Radhesham Prabhu.
Yeah, I know. The blind turtle and the probability of, first of all, there being a log of wood which has a hole floating on the surface of the ocean in which a turtle's head will go itself is very rare. On top of that, if the turtle is blind and he comes up and it goes straight in, is more than human form of life. So this, my question is related to this. So then, you mentioned that sometimes we have time, and at that time we should think that I should read Bhagavatam, I should read 41 pages, but there is always a tendency to want to space out or waste time when there is time. So how do we avoid that? And you can give some tips that time can free time, especially
Yes.
free time can be utilized in the Krishna consciousness.
Yes, Prabhuji. So Chaitanya Charan Prabhu was saying in one of his lecture is on New Realisation only. He was speaking. So he was also asked the same question. So he replied that of course whenever the find there is some space, we mind is has a tendency to go on the lower nature and then go to the same habits that we want to live. So at that time, if we create such an environment or we create an obstacle between that facility, which will facilitate that type of sense gratification or that bad habit. So, for an example, if an alcoholic and if the alcoholic he wants to leave the alcohol, he don't want to drink anymore. So, if he you know reshift or relocate at such a place जहाँ से वो wine shop बहुत दूर हो, so then when that urge will come, he has to go a long way to, and then uh, like that we can keep Krishna's photos in our homes or books very available to us. Literally, we want to do some spiritual activities, we want to read Bhagavatam, so to keep it close by to facilitate spiritual activities and to create obstacles between non-spiritual or those activities which are hindering or like sinful activities or whatever bad habits which are. So keep an obstacle between you and such facilities which will facilitate those habits. So in this way, and then again, if when the anchor asked him कि उसमें भी फिर हो जाएगा, तो then he said association. So association, if you have your family members or your friends or your devotees friends who are there, and by seeing them, so he was telling about linear trigger and triangle trigger. So linear triggers means if we directly see something, it's like somebody wants to do dieting and he don't want to eat fast food or any type of food which is he's so attracted to burger and pizza and all. So you should not live with a person also who likes that. So like linear means directly seeing that pizza burger and directly having a craving to grab it and eat it, and triangular means seeing a person who has a liking for eating pizza burger, and then by seeing him you also get a craving. So linear means directly seen, and then so you can utilize this in a कृष्ण कॉन्शियस वे ध्याय तो विषयान पुंसा संगस्तेषु ध्यायते सो ध्याय तो विषयान की जगह पे कृष्ण कर दीजिए एंड देन अपने आप को पूरा साइकिल चेंज हो जाएगा आगे का सो इफ यू लिव विद अ डिवोटी हु हैज एन अटैचमेंट फॉर कृष्णा एंड हु कैन स्टॉप यू so at that time when you have that trigger so that devotee will help you so both the things create an obstacle and then have association of devotees. Yes Mr.
Two things actually. One is today morning itself, actually, we were Mangalati and Krishna Bhagar, and while coming back, this is relating to the point you mentioned that that's how it is very uncertain and it can come any time and how this urgency is about that. So he saw a person met an accident and he was died on the spot. So that is very much relatable that it can happen, it has happened to him, it can happen to any one of the living entities. Thank you very much for giving that kind of the chain or that kind of the instruction that Lord gives us. So that maybe some kind of inculcation of the urgency can happen in our mind. So thank you very much for that. And second was as Shubhi was asking in continuation to that, that in office time at some time, some point of time, we find some kind of free time. And then when we start utilizing it, then there is some kind of interruption like someone comes or it is obviously we need to do the office work. That is the priority there kind of. So what can be your best suggestion that how we can utilize those gaps which can be filled with like reading or hearing something? What would be your suggestion about that so that the time is properly utilized?
Okay, means like there is a gap and then somebody come and start gossiping something
Not
like
possibly this will come to like some office
office.
comes for
Acha, some office work they are discussing. So that too we cannot avoid because office work you have to pick.
maybe about some 15, 20 minutes. We don't know when he will come, but he'll certainly come. That is
Yeah, yeah.
obvious. But to those 10, 15 minutes or whenever we get those kind of slots, how those can be utilized?
Yes, so you can just read Prabhupada's books, Veda base, or you can keep a small pocket book, pocket Bhagavad Gita, or any Prabhupada books, hard copy with you, and keep a marker, जहाँ से आपने पढ़ना बंद किया था, शुरू किया था, मतलब you can just start your reading of whatever Bhagavatam or any specific book, Prabhupada book, small book which you can carry. You want to finish that book, so You can read that book in that spare time. We see devotees carry that small pocket Bhagavad Gita and then read during the breaks. वृंदावन यात्रा में भी लेके आते हैं बस में पढ़ते रहते हैं बीच बीच में. So like that, they are also.
It's actually one more thing that helps, especially in this, is if you have a quota. So, for example, right now I've set some quota for reading every day. This much of Gita, this much of Bhagavatam, this much of Chaitanya Charitamrita, this much of Gita. Every day is this. So the scope of free time is very less because this has to be picked every day. That much determination is required that this has to be picked every day. So then what will happen is automatically when there is free time, even in a busy situation like work, immediately mind will it's less of out of taste and maybe more of but that's also good. So because like this Monday we had Chaitanya Charitamrita, that topic was there. Raham Ka Bhakti. That is spontaneous devotional service. Maybe some people in this classroom have spontaneous devotional service, but someone like me doesn't have spontaneous anything related to Krishna. Spontaneous self gratification. Spontaneously, I will gravitate towards that. But if these things are there, like Prabhupada said 16 rounds. If Prabhupada would have said 10 purposes every day, that would have been the standard. Everyone would have followed. Initiation means 16 rounds, 10 purposes every day. That's not there. But we can voluntarily take something like that. Then at work or while traveling, it happens. Like 3 days back, I had gone to Bandra, Leelavati. And while returning, it was like 8:30 p.m. or something. I was sitting in the rickshaw, I thought, Mala ho gaya. And immediately that thought went, those purposes are there. So rickshaw mein I started reading. Because you have a phone, you can do all those things. So you can try that. These quotas help a lot.
I also heard from you somewhere that a goal without a deadline is just a dream. Can we apply that? So deadline we can keep some targets.
That can be the title of today. Goal without a deadline.
Any other questions? Yes.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you for the wonderful session. Is chanting the Hare Krishna mantra in the ears of animals and birds beneficial to them?
Yes. So we'll do some kirtan.